of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Orr?
Here.
Councilwoman Prickett? Here. Councilman Martinez?
Here.
Councilman Baker?
Here.
Councilwoman Pilkingsrud? Councilman Edwards?
Here.
And Councilman Brushauer?
Here.
Each one is explained to her why she's...
Okay.
Okay, we need approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of November 4th, 2013.
I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes for November 4th, 2013 as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a first, second. Did you see the second? Okay. Roll call.
Prickett?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Brushauer?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye.
6 ayes.
Okay, moving on. First visitor will be our police chief, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to give the council a head up, with Officer Pope retiring about a month and a half ago, Officer Sweeney, who was our third SRO, took his position, filled in his position full-time, so he's on midnight shift. So the school superintendent and I sat down and asked them what they wanted to do, if they wanted to replace the third SRO, go with the second full-time. I left it up to them. They had a meeting with their school district and school board on Monday, and they would like to go to a second full-time officer. They believe that this would be a little more beneficial, that there wasn't enough to do at the Penrose School where Officer Sweeney was stationed as his primary, and then he would come back to assist at the middle school. There's more at the middle school, high school. So I wanted to kind of give the board a heads up on it. Putting together numbers for insurance, because again, it's a 75-25 split with the school district. For us, from what I can tell right now with preliminary numbers, it'll only be about $200 more a year for us with one full-time officer with the benefits and everything compared to the two part-time officers with no benefits. So that's basically, I wanted to inform you to kind of give you a heads up and let you think about it for the next meeting. And once we get everything squared away with numbers, we'll be presenting it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next visitor we have is Mike Vendetti.
I'm Mike Vendetti. I live at 501 West Main in Florence. And before I came to Florence, I was an auctioneer in San Jose, California, where I auctioned impound vehicles for the city of actually it was for the tow companies in San Jose, and they did about $2.5 million a year in impounds. You've got a sheet that looks like this, and if you have questions on it, what I'm talking about is a zero tolerance for drunk drivers and so forth. And if somebody is inebriated, driving a car, they need to go to jail, and their car needs to go to car jail. Unfortunately, we have a car jail up the hill, the impound yard. And if the sheet you have does not include a tow fee, but that would be charged to the individual when he picks up his car. And the reason why I don't put that down there, because I don't know what it would be. But you could check with tow companies to get a quote to tow cars. But basically, this is kind of the way they did it in San Jose. But a release fee, when they come to pick up their vehicle, you have a $200 release fee, plus a $30 per stay storage fee. And when you get into 4 days into the impound, there'd be a lien fee also, because you have to start lien sale paperwork on the vehicle. It's considered an abandoned vehicle after 3 days if they haven't picked it up. And the numbers you have there's two sheets I gave you. One is, where it's kind of split up between you. One is said if you had 100 impounds per year. If you had 100 impounds per year at those lien fees, you'd be looking at a revenue, say like if they stayed there for 4 days to 5 days, of $40,000 a year. And it's basically a thing of, it's your call as to how strictly you want to enforce, the rules for people drinking and driving, what you want to charge, what you want to charge for storage, because there are, you do have a storage yard, but you would have to have somebody to let them out and so forth, and you just do that when you're open. I mean, they can leave their car in there until there's somebody to open it up and so forth, and that's what the $200 release fee is for. Anybody have any questions?
So you're suggesting that we perhaps adopt something along these lines, or?
Well, that's basically what I'm suggesting. I'm an auctioneer, and I can, after 30 days, you would do an auction of these vehicles that have been impounded. And, what I'm suggesting is that you use the storage yard and encourage the police to come down on folks that are driving without a license and so forth, and to tow the vehicle to our storage yard and charge it to get out.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking out loud that our city attorney would have to come up with rules, regulations, et cetera, et cetera.
We have this already.
You have it.
We have tow fees, administrative fees.
Right, we do. We have
impound
that.
fees.
But,
Yeah. We would just need to compare
this
to what we've already adopted. We have a resolution that
Right.
adopted all of these
And-
fees.
Yeah, I drove by the tow yard, the impound yard the other day, and I think there's 2 or 3 cars in there. And,
It just depends on how many stops they make and how many they actually
Right.
impound. But we already have adopted a schedule of fees.
Right.
We can compare
I
them.
was aware of that.
Last year, we adjusted all our fees to be more in standard in line. Our impound fee is $50, our administration fee is $50, $30 a day storage, and a filing fee of $100 if we have to apply for salvage. So that covers all administrative costs, paperwork and filing. So we're pretty compatible
Plus the tow fee.
with everything in the area. We may be $10, $15 less than somebody else. We average about 2 to 3 cars a month towing. It could be more at times, in the summer especially. So we're not trying to be overzealous in it, but we're trying to be fair with our fees and not overcharge people either.
And do we pay for the tow fees and get them back?
The tow fee's paid by the person whose car is towed unless they abandon it with us.
Yeah.
And then when we try to auction the car off, we include the tow fees in there. We include
Okay.
whatever we've incurred.
We pay the tow fee and then
We'll pay it off,
charge
right.
it back to
Yeah,
the,
that's
when they
what I
get it.
was
If we have a car right now from an arrest
If they get it
situation,
back.
Right.
we know they're not going to come and take, they've skipped out of state. So we will include the tow bill in there when we do go to sell it. They've been sent their 30-day notice now, so.
Well, let's go back to what Mike said in the first place, and that, say you stopped on a DUI or something like that, where he's talking about they come from, they're automatically impounded. Is that the same case here?
If they're on the roadway, yes. If they're in a parking lot already and parked, we usually give them the opportunity to call a family member, lock it up, secure it. But if they're on the roadway, we automatically tow it.
Okay.
does it go to our place, or does it go to the tow yard?
At a time, it was going to the tow yard. It has been now recently going to our, once we adjusted everything we had, it's been going to our place. Because we didn't have a tow yard till
Yeah.
8 months ago almost.
Yeah, when we started it.
Right. So we didn't have one up to about 8 months ago.
Yeah, because that gets to be a real,
Yes.
that was a real moneymaker, like I talked about San Jose. These are the tow companies that got that $2.5 million, not the city of San Jose. They paid the city $130 to pick up a car.
And how's,
We've discussed now to try to have one tow fee across the board, negotiate with the tow companies we use, because one day it may be $160, one day it may be $190, next day it may be $140, to get a
Right.
flat negotiation fee, that you come out, they know, we know what it's gonna be all the time, so.
and how secure is our tow yard now? Our yard that we confiscated?
Few rabbits and mice that get in, but
Yeah, but I meant, we was talking before, we was trying to get it fenced and everything.
it's fenced, it
Remember,
has
we,
barbed wire.
me and you
across from the
talked
public
about
works.
this for quite a while.
Yeah, it's across from the Public Works. With the bid we got from the camera thing, there'd be cameras on it and new lighting on it. I still can't get the gentleman to give us that second bid. That's all we're waiting for. I left him another email, another voicemail. So if he doesn't come through, I'll have to go elsewhere. But part of the bid package on the new camera system was 3 cameras, one to include the gas pumps, one to include front of Public Works in the back, and then one to include the tow yard, which will be monitored by dispatch 24 hours a day.
Okay. Mr. Edwards?
Yeah, I have 2 questions. One is like how it would, if they towed it, if it was a private party, would they be able to get in there? Would we give them a key? And that's something I guess we can venture into later. And then my second question is insurance. Would we have to get any additional insurance? Or are we pretty much covered?
We're already covered. It's on our property.
Okay, let's go back
We
to,
don't give anybody a key. The officers escort them to the tow yard.
No, if we make an arrest, one officer follows the tow company with the vehicle to the impound lot. He unlocks it, the vehicle gets secured. It's something that we're going to search. It's automatically taped up with evidence tape to show that nobody has gotten into it or will get into it till it's searched. So the tow operator, nobody's allowed up there at any time. If I release a vehicle, or anybody releases a vehicle later, an officer goes up there, unlocks it, meets the people, makes sure they take their vehicle only and don't go through anything else. So nobody's allowed to go up there on their own.
Is this something that, obviously you've thought about it a little bit here, you have some good answers and ideas you want us to look into the future and doing something like this? You think it'd be
Well, I think we're pretty much in compliance with it, to be honest with you. The only other thing we can do, I know across the country, a big thing now is, like Mike shows on his chart, where they put, they call it an administrative fee. It goes anywhere from $250 to $500 to $750, depending. I mean, that's a big fee where you actually can have a hearing with somebody designated the police department for these administration fees. It's been upheld in court. Do we want to do that? I don't know. It's pretty expensive. We're trying to meet our cost plus a little bit.
Yeah, basically with that, what this number that I've got right down here, Mike, was these are maximums that you can really charge for that vehicle.
Right.
As it's in there, because you've only got 5 things that you can charge for. Now, one thing is another charge, which is a really good charge. And that's whatever you want it to be. But, you can charge the impound fee, the fee for your lien storage. There's another fee, and then the other fee. I think there's 5 fees that you can charge. And then once you reach that number, you have to give the rest of it to the state.
Right.
I mean, you can't impound you can impound a brand new vehicle, and you can sell it for $20,000-$30,000, but you can't keep it.
Correct.
Once you reach that certain amount of fees that you've assessed to that vehicle, anything above has to go to the Department of Revenue.
You see, and what happens, I think, with the tow companies, is they go out and they put these on a junk title, or so they can get it right away, and then they have their little car yard out in their used car lot out in front.
The one thing that I've been researching with Lieutenant Prickett is obtaining a flatbed tow truck for combination use for towing in our own city vehicles or squad cars, and arrest vehicles, having somebody on an on-call basis where they're paid a flat fee. A certified tow truck driver who lives in town where he's paid $25 a car that would be tacked into the fees in doing that. I still have to check into the insurance aspect of it, would be our main concern on that part.
We had a wrecker at one time, but we can only tow city vehicles. We can't impound
Yeah, you
other
have
vehicles
to go through a course in the
because we
state.
can't compete with private enterprise. So we have to use other wreckers.
But, I mean, it's, even if it's not a tow company that's in Florence, that,
Fremont County is our local preference.
You know, we've got one in Penrose right now. We've got a tow company we use one, and we use 2 out of Canyon City. One in the farm.
They're all on our list for
And they
rotating.
rotate.
And even though, I mean, you said that we started this 8 months ago, it was an operating tow yard a couple of years back, too. We did have a tow yard for years. And then a previous city manager before Mike shut it down, and then it was reopened.
Previous chief didn't want to deal.
Yeah. But it can make money. It absolutely can make money if
It
it's...
definitely covers the cost. The only thing we need to do is look at our fees compared to what's on Mike's schedule, and if we can charge more, charge more.
I mean, we could tack on an administrative fee of some sort, like Mike has, I think, a $200.
We have an administrative fee.
We've got a...
yeah, see, I've got a $200 release fee.
Yeah, that's why I said we
Yeah.
need to raise it.
$200 release fee, $30 per day storage, and then the lien fee, which you get into after 4 days,
we're at the $30 a day storage. So, I mean, the fees, we just did it, like I said, when we opened up the tow yard again, we just adjusted, because we were
Yeah, we
really
did
low.
last year, we hit
Yeah,
way
we
up.
were way, way low, so we brought it up, it could be revisited again, checking the area.
The one thing that he's talking about though, how do we dispose of them? Get rid of them when we're done? He's talking about auctioning them off. Is that what we do
One
now?
of three ways. If it's junk, we crush it. If it's something that we can sell, it goes on eBay or goes to an auction. I think we sold 2 at the last auction they had with the county when we joined in with them with all that property. We had 2 that went, and the other 2, I think, went on eBay. The Volkswagen that we had taken and another vehicle, and they went on eBay.
Yeah, you don't really have an auction unless you've got, 20 or 30 cars to
Right.
go. If you've only got 2 or 3 cars, that does not generate any interest locally.
Right.
But, so, be doing the right thing by going on eBay. But if you get aggressive with this, or, and you can do 20 or 30 cars a month, then it's worthwhile, and you get a crowd. So far, they're going to ask you another thing. What about the personal property in the cars when you impound them?
We let the owners take their personal property, or if they come back, like in an arrest situation, they come to the police station. If they can't afford to pay the tow fees and, fees that we have, we allow them to go up with an officer, take their personal property out, and give it to them. If it's not theirs, then the personal property is either disposed of, or, if it's garbage, it's junk.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Next visitor we have is Mr. Blacknick on the list.
My name is John Blatnick, and I lived at 901 East 2nd for 60 years and lived in the same house. And what I got to bring up here to you is 4 different things. The city council here about 2 or 3 meetings ago bought up 2 women come in here to sell signs coming in the state of Colorado, and you give them $2,000.
The kiosks?
Yeah. There's $2,000. Now that is wrong. If the merchants want to put a map out, you don't use all taxpayer money, because you're dipping into the funds that belong to the city. And that is the wrong way to go. If the merchants want to pay it, fine, but don't let it come out of the city profit. Because I got a couple ideas, a couple things here where that 2,000 could start. Now the second place is on the trash truck. I hear we need a new trash truck. All right, that $2,000 could have been put again in the trash truck. And then also, if you need it bad, put a penny sales tax to help pay for that truck. And put it on there only until the truck is paid for. Then it comes off. And that'll help take that out. And the other thing, I want to know why they're not picking the leaves up in the street like they used to.
Yeah.
Okay, we are still picking up leaves, but we're not.
I know you're picking them up, but
We're
not
not
like you
doing
used to.
We're not doing, the real difference this year, and we didn't word this very clearly for Bob. Bob did a good job of publishing what we wrote, but we didn't make it very clear. We are still picking them up. What we're not using is we're not using the big leaf sucker.
They're not.
We're
Why?
not, because even though the guys were aerators last year, every one of our guys who did that got sick, and we actually had to call the ambulance out there twice for different guys. So we are doing something different. We're still doing everything we can to get the leaves picked up.
Yeah.
We're asking people, we prefer you don't put them on the street, we prefer you bag them, we'll come get them that way, or if you don't want to bag them,
Yep.
at least if you've got a parkway, put them on the parkway, put them on the edge of the property, make it a little bit easier rather than in the street, because when they get in the street, they get driven on and all that kind of stuff. When they're on the edge of the property, it's not quite as bad. We are still out picking up leaves, we've got volunteers helping us. In fact, we're actually doing more full service in that with the volunteers. They're going out on to helping the elderly and that kind of stuff. So we're still doing it, we're just doing it different because that thing made people sick.
But you take like these people that live around and they have a lot. They never rake their leaves, and when the wind comes, they blow them all down. Now, I picked mine up 4 times, and I got 5 barrels. It's all cleaned. And the wind blowed over the weekend, and I filled all them barrels. I got 2 out of the alley and up along the fence. I don't mind picking them up, putting them in the barrel and with trash. The trash service is good. You got 2 men on there doing a good job.
Right.
But let's treat it right. And tell the people that's got it out in their lots to pick it up and do something about it. Because down there's Betty Ritter and we got ours all cleaned up. The next day, you got a truckload more. And the boys know that. And one day I was out there picking them up by the street, and the boys come by, and they took the barrel and dumped it, and I'd see it kept working. And that's on that. Now, the other subject is to get on 115 and go out 67 and get sidewalk and get some lighting in that intersection. Because if any of my family gets killed out there, somebody's going to have a problem to pay, because I'm going to push it. I've been 2 years trying to get that done. I've been to city council, I've been to the mayor, and I've been to the state patrol, and I've been to the sheriff to talk to him, and I also talked to the commissioners. And it's all I've turned that, and I've called CDOT. It needs to be done because it's a dangerous intersection. You need lights out there in that intersection and markings. You got that all down? And the next one I want to see is any annexation. It goes south, all of it. You don't want to annex up the hill when you start pumping water up the hill. And you got to put curb and gutter up there, more policemen and up there on the hill. And when you pump water up, it costs money. That's Canyon City, they'll tell you. They thought they were doing nice whenever they tore that pipeline out up there. They pump it up, and you see what one of them turbine pumps cost, pumping sand up the hill. It wears them out right away, and they're big money there. So my advice to, if you annex south and west, if you take any. There's a lot of open area out there. Because you're going to have sheriff, all of them out there taking care of that. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, John.
You bet.
Do we have any other visitors? Good.
Gail Nelson, 118 West 4th Street, Florence. I just have a quick question. Have we done, has the city done a study on the condition of our sidewalks and curbs within the city? Has there been a study that's been done?
Dawn did it's in there, the sidewalks are all in the transportation plan.
On the transportation plan, and it talks about the conditions of the
I
sidewalks?
think they're all rated, aren't they, Don?
We didn't do every sidewalk in town, we did it for a third.
For the corridor, yeah.
Mike's Peak,
So you've done it for 3rd Street and Pikes Peak?
correct.
Okay, can we get a copy of that? Can our group get a copy of that? I don't want to have to
Yes.
redo if something's already been done. Okay, thank you.
Any other visitors? Okay, move on to old business. Resolution 22-2013, summarizing revenues of expenditures and adopting the 2014 budget. Gary, you got anything to say about this?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion that we approve Resolution 22-2013.
I'll second.
First, second. Roll call, please.
Cricket,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Freshour, Edwards,
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. Okay, moving on, second reading of ordinance 14-2013, appropriating money to various funds and spending agencies for the 2014 budget year.
I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 24, 2013, as read.
Second?
Actually, let's,
Yeah.
there were the numbers changed in that, so I think, though, if Dory just simply read through each fund with the new amount, that would suffice for
That would
purposes of
suffice.
second
Because
reading.
it's amended on second.
Submitted.
Okay. Ordinance 14, 2013, an ordinance appropriating sums of money to the various funds and spending agencies in the amount and for the purposes set forth below for the city of Florence, Colorado for the 2014 budget year. Whereas the City Council of the City of Florence has adopted the annual budget in accordance with local government budget law on November 18, 2013. And whereas it is not only required by law, but also necessary to appropriate the revenue provided in the budget to and for the purposes described below, so as not to impair the operation of the City of Florence, Colorado. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Florence, Colorado, that the following sums are hereby appropriated from the revenues and available fund balances of each fund as follows. General Fund, $2,634,661. Water Fund, $8,107,035. Police Equipment and Supplies, $32,035. Swimming Pool Fund, $30,150. Equipment Replacement Fund, $20. Conservation Trust Fund, $36,100. Capital Improvement Acquisition Fund, $34,476. Community Projects Fund, $23,600. Perpetual Care Reserve Fund, $7,250. Cemetery Construction Fund, $6,300. Pool Parks and Recreation Fund, $153,000. Recreation Fund, $5,000. Capital Projects Fund, $134,484.
Okay, is that good? All right. We have our first and second roll call.
Baker?
Aye.
Prickett?
Aye.
Rushauer?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye. Okay, Resolution 24-2013, a resolution of intent regarding annexation and setting a public hearing. And do we need to get a little bit from Don on this?
Don, let me explain. This is what you adopted 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's the 7th Street
Yeah.
section. It's
Okay.
identical, except it's renumbered and the publication never took place. So we're starting over so that we have a 4-week consecutive publication for a hearing now that will be January 6th instead of December 16th. So that's the reason for this resolution.
And it just was, we didn't put it in right or something?
It was not published on those first 2 dates, which would have been November 7th and then last Thursday. So it just didn't get published. And because it says in section 3, the clerk shall cause a copy of this resolution and public notice to be posted once a week for 4 consecutive weeks, and the clerk didn't cause it to do anything. So it sat in my file, and now we have to start over. And we're not out any money or publication
Yeah.
costs, we're just 2 weeks
behind.
in lapse. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 24, 2013, and set the public hearing date for January 6, 2014 at 7 p.m.
Second.
Do we have a first and second? Roll call, please.
Prickett?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Rushauer?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye.
6 ayes.
Okay, moving on to new business. First reading of ordinance 15-2013, approving a zone change from C General Commercial to R1 Low Density Residential.
Let's go ahead and read that, Mr. Mayor.
We need to talk to Don about this too, and see what's,
Let's get it read
Get
first.
rid of Don.
all right.
Ordinance number 15, 2013, an ordinance approving
15.
approving a zone change for lots 1 and 22, Block 6, Pikeview Estates subdivision, first filing from C General Commercial Zone District to R1 Low Density Residential Zone District. Whereas on October 10th, 2013, the Farmers Acceptance Group representing Fremont County Habitat for Humanity made application for a zone change of land described as lots 1 and lot 22, Block 6, Pikeview Estates subdivision, first filing, more commonly known as 202 and 204 Indian Hills Road, located within the city limits of the city of Florence. And whereas said application was a request to rezone the above described property from its current zone designation of C General Commercial Zone District to R1 Low Density Residential Zone District. And whereas the Florence Planning Commission held a public hearing on November 14, 2013, due notice of which was provided in reference to this requested zone change, and thereafter said Planning Commission voted to recommend approval of the requested zone change based on Section 1776-100A2, that the area has changed to such a degree that it is in the public interest to encourage redevelopment of the area, and that such rezoning will be consistent with the policies and goals of the comprehensive plan. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Florence, Colorado, 1, that the property legally described as Lot 1 and Lot 22, Block 6, Pikeview Estates subdivision, first filing, more commonly known as 202 and 204 Indian Hills Road, is hereby rezoned to R1 Low Density Residential Zone District. 2, that the zoning map of the City of Florence shall be amended to reflect the above described zone change. Oh, perfect.
You have an aerial photo in your packet that shows the location of the lot we're talking about. It's on Arrowhead Drive at the corner of Indian Hills and Arrowhead. That strip along Arrowhead Drive was zoned commercial when the subdivision was platted a couple of decades ago. It's still totally vacant. There's been no commercial use requested or intended for that site. The 2 lots we're talking about belong to a bank. The rest of the block has been transferred to somebody else from the original developer through the bank. Habitat for Humanity intends to build 2 houses there over the next couple of years. And their representative is in the audience tonight if you have a question. But the intent is to rezone these lots to residential, single family, to match the rest of the neighborhood. That entire street on Indian Hills is either zoned R1 or R2. And we believe that the character of the neighborhood has changed enough to recommend this zone change, basically based on the fact that no commercial has occurred in that commercial strip. So perhaps this is a better use of those 2 lots.
Okay, any questions for Don, anyone? Okay. Yes, if you want to speak, go ahead. State your name and address, please.
Yes, if I may, my name is Alan Termolen, and I'm here tonight representing the Fremont County Habitat for Humanity. These lots are, we're excited to get these lots. We have a person who has generously offered to donate these lots to us for Habitat for Humanity. We have a family chosen that would be a recipient of the first house, and with your approval and going through the steps, we anticipate starting construction of the first house sometime in the first couple of months of 2014. And then we will be looking for another family and looking to raise funds so we can do a second house in the near future after that. And I'd be glad to answer any questions, but we're excited to get a home under construction here in the Florence area for a fine family that qualifies.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 15-2013 as read.
Second.
Tony was the second. Yeah. Okay, I thought maybe I better tell you.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Prickett?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Frischauer.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
And Mayor Orr.
Aye.
6 ayes.
Okay. Moving on. Authorizations for the mayor to sign the engineering services agreement with Smith Geological Engineering and South Reservoir Subsurface Investigation. And can someone talk on this? Because I can't. I don't know what the heck.
This is the beginning
they're doing.
stages. This is the beginning stages of the project to rehab the south reservoir and to locate the leak and figure out how to fix it so that we can bring the water level up to the decreed amount for that reservoir. We've already allowed some preliminary engineering fees with Farnsworth, and this is the geotech that they'll do to pothole and do some bores. The last page of the proposal shows areas where they will be doing the boreholes with the barometers, which measure the moisture, and where the areas of moisture are occurring, plus to get the soils evaluations done. We've had geotech done on the area in the past. We've also done some work on the South Reservoir in the late 1980s, but we still have this leak. And we're working now with Smith Geotech, Farnsworth, and Mark Perry with the State Engineer's Office on how best to fix it. And this is one of the projects that was allowed. We've got $2.7 million set aside in the bond money for this reservoir. So this is the beginning of the work to figure out how to fix it. If you allow this contract. Our hope is to start work on that by 2015.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion that we approve, that we allow you to sign the authorization for Smith Geotechnical Engineering for the South Reservoir Subsurface Investigation not to exceed the amount of $17,778.50.
Second?
First and second. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Edwards?
Done.
Martine?
Aye. Sorry.
I can say it.
I was writing and speaking.
Martinez?
Aye.
Frischauer?
Aye.
And Mayor Orr.
Aye. Okay, next, change order number 3, Avalanche Excavating for the North Reservoirs.
Change order number 3 for the North Reservoir is a project that's just finishing up right now, and you'll see this change order is a negative. It's a credit to the total contract of $8,360.42, which is essentially the seeding or the reseeding of the berms. Even the state engineer has agreed that we need to remove it from this project. It's costly. Chances are nothing will grow. It's not a requirement of the state to reseed it at this time. What we'd like to do is remove it from this contract. We're working on the grant that we got for the Dry Creek Dam detention facility across the street. We're working with Rick Romano at Soil Conservation Service. Part of that is to rehab the Dry Creek Dam and also reseed it. And at that time, possibly look at doing both at the same time. Rick Romano has been working with the city recently, this past year, to reseed and revegetate the native grasses at Mountain Park, and has come up with a formula of seed that we think will work. If we can get it to work there, we may be able to get it to work in both of these locations. So we're suggesting that we remove the seeding from this contract because it's very expensive. Look at it later on. We have enough money left in this project, maybe do it at a later date for a lot less money. So we're asking that the change order be allowed and that be removed from the contract.
Makes sense.
Would we ever say no to a credit? I'm just thinking no.
Just knowing that it might come back at a later time for a different
But
price.
if nothing's gonna grow there, that's, doesn't make sense to even waste it.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion that we approve change order number 3 for Avalanche Excavating the North Reservoir in the amount of a credit of $8,360.42.
Second.
You got simultaneous seconds. Roll call, please.
Cricket.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Rushauer. Martinez.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. Okay, change order number 4, Avalanche Excavating for the North Reservoir Fence.
Okay, this is a big one. This is an add-on. And the total is $57,692.80, and it is for a fence for the entire reservoir, North Reservoir Cell 1 and 2. We hope that it will lessen our liability. We'll be able to post the reservoirs, no trespassing. Right now, it seems to be a recreation area for young people, plus a cut-through for a school bus stop. So we're hoping to cut down on the traffic around the reservoirs. Makes sense to fence it. We have money. The project right now, with the last change order, project is sitting at $957,097.59. With this change order, it would bring the project to $1,176,669. Project was supposed to take $1.5 million. So even adding this and maybe the receding layer, we're still way under budget for the bond money that was set aside for this particular project. So we're asking, this does not have to be done right now. It can be done later, at a later date. The contractor has spent the time to go out for bid to the local fence companies. He has picked the lowest bid. There will be a change on, Richard didn't give me the information. The posts, I believe, are going to be a bigger size. 4-inch, but at the same price.
And height-wise, 6 foot?
Pardon me?
The height?
6 foot with two rows of barbed wire.
Okay.
The gate will be a double gate with a post center. That's the gate. It would be nice to have it fenced now while this contractor's on site. They're willing to do it.
Okay, one, go ahead, Nikki.
A couple of comments. I went out and visited the site. Richard gave me a tour, and it's actually really impressive. So I would recommend if y'all have the time to go out there and take a look. It's massive. It's much bigger than it showed on the slideshows. Also, I can tell you that when we first moved here, my kids told me about this wonderful swimming pool that we had right over the hill. And I forbid them to ever go there, but I know that it is used as a swimming hole by some of the neighborhood kids. Yeah.
Where is the school bus stop at Kids Private Birthday?
It's right and just south of it by the mailboxes at 13A. That's where the school buses stop.
Mr. Edwards?
I kind of talked with the city manager about it a little bit. I just question mine's mostly for the attorney. We will be legal on this because it's my understanding that it wasn't part of the original bidding and plan. It's kind of in there now, and our legalities of not putting it to bid ourselves. Are we going to be okay on that?
No, we're fine with that. It comes in as a change order, which the contract allows, within your discretion. And I should note also that I think this reservoir probably falls outside of the Colorado Governmental Immunity Act, which just increases the city's exposure in the event there was, an injury out there. So.
Or anything else?
Plus, the contract is so much less than what was previously, or the engineer's estimate. The next lowest was $1.3 million to start with, which would not have allowed for some of the change orders that we've had to deal with as far as the state engineers. So we would have been well over our estimated cost in our bond money, then some other project would suffer. So
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion that we approve change order number 4, Avalanche Excavating for the North Reservoir fencing, not to exceed the amount of $57,692.80.
Second.
First, second is Tony. Roll call.
Cricket.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Rushauer.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye.
Six ayes.
Okay, the pay request for number 2, Avalanche Construction for the North Reservoirs Liner Project.
Change order number 2.
No,
Do you want to
payment
tell us?
application number 2.
Oh, payout. I think it shows everything but the last change order, the 57,000, because that wasn't a part of this. So, let's see, that contract. Yeah, because it shows the project to date as 907,000. With the change order that we just did for 57,000, it would be 957,097. Pay request is for 430,000, 416,77. That's work completed through October 31st. November 5th, sorry.
November 5th.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'll make the motion that we approve payment application number 2 to Avalanche Construction for the North Reservoir Liner Project in the amount of $430,416.77.
Second.
Yeah, just pick one.
Cricket.
Aye.
Baker.
Actually, no,
Edwards.
someone else was a second, I think. Oh,
You all said it at the same
Yeah, it
time.
was pretty well all the same.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Rushauer.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
And Mayor Orr.
Aye.
Six ayes.
Okay, out of the reservoirs into the beer. We have a 3-2 beer license renewal for the Loaf and Jug.
Here's the annual renewal for the 3-2 beer license. Tonight, you had on your thing, police report. I didn't have that Friday when packets went out, but it recommends renewal. Fees are all paid.
Everything looks good.
The licenses. Yeah, they asked me to check today.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the liquor license renewal for Loaf and Jug located at 506 East Main Street in Florence.
Ed, second.
Ed?
Yeah. Roll call.
Cricket.
Aye.
Rushauer.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. Okay, moving to the other side. Mayor's report, there is no mayor's report, I don't have much to report tonight. Finance officer's report.
We issued the September 30 financial statements and we updated the sales tax report. That's all I have to report.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor? If I could jump in here for a second, I'd just like to give
Finance.
Sam some kudos. His department is the only department in the entire city that is under budget at this time, so we appreciate your hard work.